Aoife, you've been sitting since you've gotten to the police station, you've kind of been sitting in a containment cell of sorts. It doesn't seem to be like the jails that you've seen in your little sitcoms, though. Instead of the iron bars, it's more of clear plexiglass, so to speak. Kira is actually in one of the same type of holding cells on your right. Somebody has already come by to draw blood, so at this point you're just waiting for them to come back and give you the news on whether or not you've contracted the virus according to them. However, if you would like to roll me a intelligence check, please.
Just a straight intelligence?
Yes.
This is 2.
Alright. You vaguely remember Professor saying something about something about these blood tests, but you can't really remember what. Kira's kind of leaning up, but you can notice Kira's kind of leaning up against the side of the glass, plexiglass closest to you, and is kind of just looking over at you.
Did you stop talking?
Yeah, I stopped talking.
Oh, sorry. It sounded really cut off. Sorry. So I'm kind of sitting on the right, kind of leaning. I'm sitting, but I'm leaning back on the wall.
Mm-hmm.
Are you holding up, Kira?
She kind of sighs and looks up, and she goes, "How long are we gonna be here? It's been like forever."
They should be back pretty quick, especially once they find out. We just gotta be more patient, I guess.
Sighs and kind of looks over, and she goes, "I'm sorry, Aoife."
It's not your fault. It's probably my fault. I'm the one with the bigger body, so I should have known better.
She gives you a longing look, and she goes, "It's my fault. If I wouldn't have told you to call the police, you wouldn't have called the police, and then we wouldn't be here right now."
No, you did. We did what we were supposed to do. We called the police, and that's what we were supposed to do. When you see something like that happen, you're supposed to call the police because they're the ones that are supposed to come and help. And I guess they did help in a way, even though Craig's the one that did the saving. I don't know anymore, Kira.
What do you mean you don't know? She was just kind of leaning her side against the plexiglass wall, but now she's completely turned to face you.
I'm supposed to be learning how to be human, but it's really hard. I don't get it. We were supposed to help, and we did help, and yet you and me are in here. You're a kid, and you're not supposed to be here, and I didn't even ask to be created, and yet here I am. I don't know. Even if we were to get out of here, what am I supposed to do?
Kira kind of sighs, and she tries to muster up what you might interpret as a brave voice, and she goes, "Well, I heard a teacher talk about this at one point. We're supposed to find our own way. The way he talked about it, it seemed like that even some adults, people in their 40s, which is like really, really old, don't know what they're supposed to do with life. So, I mean, if it takes some people 40 years to learn that type of stuff, then, I mean, who can blame anybody for not knowing?"
Well, once they test my blood, I don't know what's gonna happen. But we gave it a good try. We did what we were supposed to do. We were good people and we helped the guy. And I think in a show I saw, they said, you just gotta try your best and take it one step at a time. So we'll figure it out. We'll just keep chatting until they come back, and then we'll see what we can do.
Yura kind of nods and goes, "Yep, we'll just have to wait and see." A few minutes actually go by, and then the door opens. This rather professional-looking individual comes in and goes, "All right." So, he looks at a folder that he has in his hand, and he goes, "All right, so, Aoife, we're probably going to need to take another sample of your blood. I don't know exactly what's going on, but our machine didn't work correctly when it was testing your blood, so we're going to need to manually look at it, and unfortunately the process we use destroyed the sample. Kira, your blood is clean of all infection, so that's good. Now, I'm unsure of what we're going to do with you, Kira, because we were able to trace your family, and we know that your mother's infected." He kind of rubs the bridge of his nose and continues. "The problem is places of living situations are difficult nowadays. With how fast this thing spreads, a lot of places are closed. Schools are under harsh mandates. We're just kind of at a loss at this time. So, we're going to get you a guardian of some sort. In the meanwhile," and he kind of just shrugs and he goes, "Honestly, this is like the worst case scenario that a child could ever be put in." As he continues to look through his folder full of notes, he goes, "Aoife, you were the one taking care of her?"
Yeah, me and my brother Craig.
"I can't guarantee anything. There is a chance that if you guys are still willing and able to, we might be able to put in paperwork to make you legal guardians. I obviously would have to check with her mother to make sure that's okay. Contacting her mother is a little bit difficult given the circumstances, but it isn't option if you also would be open to it.
Yeah. And I nod.
He goes, all right. He dons a face mask as well as a face shield as he enters the plexiglass and sits next to you, Aoife. And he goes, as I stated, I do need to take another sample of blood, though.
Okay. And I hand in my arm.
He draws the blood and gives you yet another band-aid and removes himself from your little plexiglass cell. And he goes, I'm sorry, but it'll be at least another 30 minutes to an hour to test this. And he turns to leave. As he leaves, we'll go ahead and move back to 4. The vampire looks at you expectantly as you had been silent for a little bit as your mind wrapped around questions.
I believe I have plenty of things to ask if you have the time.
She makes a small chuckle and states, I have the night.
Very well. I will open with the larger one. You mentioned you were once human. Why stop being human? Was this an accident, an intentional move?
It was an intentional move by my sire. It was not of my volition, it was of his volition that I became what I am before you.
I see. You've mentioned it's been what, over 70 years? And yet, from what I understand about aging, that doesn't look the case. Does aging simply cease in your condition here?
It ceases in the way it works for humans, yes. There are certain things that can happen to us that make us look a little bit less fresh. But for the most part, once we are embraced, we stay as we are until our destruction. It is about at this time that I do want to call for the disquiet roll, however.
Oh boy. Well, I don't remember. What am I rolling? It's Azoth, and is it just Azoth that I'm rolling?
Yes.
Alright, dice gods. Don't do this. I had really good rolls last time. Let's cut it out. Alright, no disquiet. Alright, continue the knowledge acquisition. Okay, what was I gonna ask? So this trophy that I appear to have acquired from the Abbey, this holds no value to your kind. The last item that I sought information on appeared to be incredibly valuable to the wolves which it belonged to.
You, roll me a wits plus empathy.
Empathy. 4 doesn't know that.
He goes, wolves. Interesting. And she taps the ashes off of her cigarette. She refocuses in on your question. No, it holds no interest to me, or likely anyone that I would know. It was simply a trophy, if I were to make an educated guess. Something for them to brag and talk about over their scotch and whiskey and cigars.
It simply means I don't have to deal with returning it. Although you mentioned that this trophy was a result of a raid where many of your kind were killed, are you simply the only survivor, or are you more just solitary? You know, you seem to be alone here, and I saw no one else coming in. Although I could have been, I suppose.
If there are others in this nightclub, they are not known to me, and I would know them. We are a rather paranoid group. We work together only as far as our needs let us. Our existence is very much vying and jockeying for power, for influence. To my knowledge, I'm the last one in this part of the city, which, interestingly enough, makes me the de facto queen, so to speak. She kind of giggles as those words leave her lips.
Do I know anything about monarchies?
Don't you have points in academics?
No.
I would just say yes, you still do, honestly.
Okay. Well, I make a mental note that it's kind of curious that one would call themselves a monarch with no subjects, but, you know, whatever. Alright, now time for the questions. I don't say this out loud, of course, but now time for the questions that are probably going to induce frenzy. Alright, here we go. So, perhaps this is prying too far, as you seem to prefer to be in isolation here, but might I ask what you were actually doing in that back room? I'm unsure of exactly the goal of slurping at a neck.
Those fangs that I've shown you and that you've seen on that necklace, they are not superficial. They have an expressed purpose. My kind feeds on blood for simplicity's sake. We require most of us require living blood. Some of us can subsist off of cold blood, but that's not ideal. It's like living off of scraps and garbage. I was simply fulfilling my need to feed for the night.
To my knowledge, there is no difference between the makeup of blood within a human and blood that has been drawn from a human. I fail to see how the two are different.
She kind of sighs and she goes, I'm not a scientist of my condition. That would be of somebody else's expertise. I just know it loses some of its potency. She hangs on that word as she seems to ponder it as she speaks.
Are you aware of a scholar that would know?
I would have been aware of several if it weren't for that raid, but as I previously stated, to my knowledge, I am the only one left in the city of my kind.
A waste of potential knowledge. Unfortunate.
Quite.
Well, I can assume why. I can assume the answer to this question, but perhaps I'm missing something. But why hide from, humans? Surely your condition could simply be... If there are more of your kind, surely this is a condition that could have been known to medical organizations and help, or not help. Words. What are words? Treatment could have been arranged for this need for blood.
She takes a long drag off of her cigarette as she thinks, and she goes, well, that would require us to want to be cured, to an extent. Most of us don't. Some of us fight very hard against our condition, true. That's probably where the myths and legends of a supposed cure for our kind comes from. However, one thing is for certain. The humans outnumber us. Always have and always will. That's just the way it needs to be for our continued survival. If the humans found out about us and that they are our prey, the humans would fight back, as is their nature, and some would say as is their right. We would all be eradicated. There's no two ways about it. The resulting bloodshed would be heavy on the human side, but we would be eradicated eventually. So we have maintained a little bit of a masquerade, if you will, to pretend to be humans for our continued survival. I'm sure this is something you know much about.
Well, it's been incredibly helpful as compared to the last group. However, at the beginning of this conversation, you mentioned you wanted something from me. Would you care to elaborate on that at this point?
Yes. There is a individual that I have certain issues with. Full disclosure. And she pauses for a second, and she goes, actually, before I send you off to go die, so to speak, how capable are you? Really?
You've seen the news reports of my work. Is this not a good baseline?
She kind of nods her head to the side as she thinks, and she goes, well, luckily, it seems like what I want might coincide with some of your previous interactions. There's a member of the Guinness family. I had a lover, a vampiric lover that I was bonded to. I'm not going to go into the details. It is complicated to explain to somebody that is not one of us. He was killed that night. I want blood. Your two options are end him, and the debt is paid. Simple, sweet. Or, if you want further assistance with anything that I might be able to provide, bring him back here, alive. No questions, because I will not give answers on that. What'll happen after that?
I need more than a member of the Guinness family. Do we have a name?
She goes, you remember that news report after your excursion to that country club? The man who spoke.
Yes, the man who placed a bounty upon our heads. I have no quarrels with dealing with this one.
He flicks the finished cigarette from her fingers and it lands gracefully in the ashtray a few feet away from her. She stands and then leans over the chair that you were sitting on. She goes, "Good. Then we have an accord. What should I call you, by the way?"
Well, do you want what I know myself as, or the fake name that my ID knows myself as?
Doesn't matter to me as long as you answer to both.
Then I am simply 4.
Well, 4. They call me Eve. It was a pleasure to meet you 4. Now, I'm gonna leave. I would recommend you probably leave the same way you came in. I'm gonna enjoy the rest of my night, and I hope you do too. She stands and makes her way out of the dressing room area that you're in.
And stand up to go leave.
Leaving the same way you came in?
Yeah, 4's not that stupid.
Alright. As you ascend the staircase back to the roof, where is 4's next destination?
The next marker, the one relating to the lighter, admittedly, because I got nothing else to do but look at everything else, because I've got nothing else dragging me back. Still got plenty of time till the wolves come to kill me.
As you make your way back through the city streets, after you get down from the building, you can still see flashes of fur leap between alleyways. Your guests still are following you. Let us go back to Banba.
Yes.
The man closes the door behind him and leans against it as he stares at you. You give me a wits plus empathy roll.
Okay, what's empathy? So that's 4.
You can tell this man is terrified. You can almost hear his heart slamming in his chest. His eyes are a little bit wider than they should be. His hand hangs stiffly at his side as if he's wanting to reach on something. He begins to speak. "What the hell are you? You're not human. No way in hell you're human."
Looking at him square in the eyes with a friendly smirk. I take it you're no ordinary person as well, being here, especially on a case like this.
Go ahead and give me a disquiet roll, which is going to be your Azoth.
Azoth? I only got one Azoth. I failed.
That's actually good. You want to fail these.
Right. Failing is good.
He goes, "What the hell are you talking about?" And once again, his hand slowly begins to move as he continues to reach for something that seems to be slightly behind his back.
You don't seem normal yourself. I've been trying to figure that out from how your buddy over there was just eyeballing everyone. And yet there's something different about you as well. This isn't your first rodeo with cases like this, so I'm surprised with how you're reacting. I'm just as nervous as well. What happened at that country club was terrifying, and what I told you was the truth. We just wanted to get our sister home.
He freezes for a moment and he goes, "So you're admitting that you and your siblings," he raises an eyebrow, "were there at the country club that night and caused that massacre?"
We caused nothing. She just ran in. Obviously, we do not look high class. Let me just say it frankly. We're not rich enough to be there. Obviously, they kicked us out. She ran in. We got kicked out. We just wanted her back, and all of a sudden, all this stuff started happening, and I just focused on getting my sister home.
Exactly how did you get your sister home? Since you're essentially saying that they committed some sort of crime, that you felt that you had to administer vigilante justice?
It doesn't take more than 30 minutes to talk someone to coming out in a place they don't belong. There's the stares of the wealthy give me goosebumps enough to want to keep away. Obviously, we couldn't even afford the salt on their table. She was there. I didn't want them mistreating her in any way. I just wanted her out so we can go home. We don't belong there. Not even our van could be a simple delivery truck.
He goes, "I feel like you're dancing around my questions." And he sighs and adjusts himself and he goes, "I have no idea what you were referring to at the start. I was assigned to this case because it is believed to be connected with the murders that happened at the warehouse. So if by saying it's not my first rodeo, as in it's not my first international murder case, you're right. It's not. But I don't know if that's exactly what you were implying. However, I have reasonable doubt now, or I have reasonable suspicion to put you and your entire family under arrest until we can figure out who did it. So, thank you for your cooperation."
If I may suggest, keep me or keep in contact with me, but let them go. My sister has been through enough. My family has been through enough. If you want to keep anyone here, keep me.
He goes, "No, I don't think I will." He opens up his phone and he dials, it looks like he speed dials a number. As he leaves the room, the only words you hear are, "Mr. Guinness, we've got them."
Ah, Twinkies. I said to myself, out of game. Out of game. He leaves the door open, right?
No, he shuts it behind him as he leaves the room.
Banba tussles through his hair. Alright. Let's see how much fun we can cause. He sits down in a chair. That's it.
All right. Craig,
Yeah.
you see the large man, come out of the room where he had took Banba. Give me a perception check.
All right. 3 successes.
He nods. Sorry. You can hear the conversation over the phone. The man, the federal agent, says, "All right, so I believe we have all the, if not all the individuals, most of the individuals you requested. I really hope your payment goes through, because I could lose my job for letting you know and letting you and your associates handle the rest. I can give you a report on how many we have, including how many others there might be." There was reference to a professor. Also, these people were brought in with a little child. I remember you had mentioned something like that. And at this point, he has walked far enough away that you lose the ability to hear him any longer.
Is there anyone else in our throng around me? Or they all got taken back?
You are once again alone in the waiting room.
Well, that was the nice FBI guy, but he was talking to the guy that was on the TV, I think. I don't think the guy on the TV is a nice guy though. So, Craig doesn't know what to do with this information, especially since nobody else is out here to help him.
A few more minutes pass, and then the smaller of the two open up the room that he had taken Forsaken into, and he proceeds also to open up the other room that you're in, Banba, and he gestures for both of you to go ahead and step out and wait in the waiting room. As he finishes his gesture, he kind of stations himself in between the waiting room and the exit. Banba, you're very much aware of why he's standing there. Forsaken, your conversation was very, very limited with this man. It seemed more like he wasn't really there to talk to you. Or if he was, he did a very, very poor job of talking to you, as he just kind of sat across from you and stared menacingly at you. Your mic is not working. So, while you try to get that working, go ahead and, Banba and Craig, you guys can converse.
So what did you guys talk about in there?
The big guy's watching us, right?
No, he walked away over there that way.
Okay, he walked away. I kind of lean into Craig. We're in trouble. Do you have your phone?
Yeah, but why are we whispering?
Text the professor. We're in trouble. They know what we are.
They do?
text him exactly that right now, please?
Pooter,
Ah,
give me an Azoth roll.
haha, here it comes.
Oh, what? Why? What does that mean?
Alright, straight as off, yes?
Yes.
Is he not to be alerted or alarmed?
Oh, look, 2 successes.
Do you scare easy? What's going on?
Okay. Thank you for that.
Wait, Azoth.
So Craig is gonna go on his phone and start texting.
If you would, Pooter, go ahead and resolve the Dagast condition.
Haha.
You receive a message from the professor, and he states, "Oh God, okay. I'm getting a hold of Cat. Sit tight. I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know how all this is gonna work, but things might get odd." And it seems like he puts a lot of emphasis on the word odd.
Oh, okay. Well, the professor said to sit tight, so Craig's gonna clutch his knees really hard. Sit.
I just stand around, just taking a glance of the station.
I don't know what he means when he says it's gonna get odd, though.
Yeah, me neither.
Oh, by the way, the nice big guy in the suit that came out. I heard him. He was on the phone. He was talking to. I think it was the guy in the TV, the Guinness, the beer guy. I think they're working together.
Good to know.
Aoife and Kira, within roughly about 10 minutes, the guy comes back and he looks at Aoife expectantly and he goes, "I am so sorry about the confusion. It seems like I didn't need to take that second thing of blood from you. It just took a while for our machine, I guess, to print out the results or something, but it proved that you're clean as well. So what I can do at this time is go ahead and release both of you out into the waiting room. There's still a little bit more paperwork that needs to be filled out, but if you can go ahead and wait out there, I believe your siblings are out there waiting for you."
Craig's out there?
And he goes, well, I'm not 100% sure of their names, but it was just so weird." He kind of shakes his head. "But yeah, your siblings are out there."
Oh, okay. And Kira can come with me too?
For the time being, we're still working on that, on a suitable situation to work out for that. Obviously, this is highly unusual, but, you know, the world we live in nowadays, nothing's the same anymore.
Right. So is she gonna... Can she wait out there with me?
Oh, yeah, sorry, he shakes his head and he goes, "That was just so weird. I've never seen the machine do that before. Oh, well. But yeah, sorry. She can go out with you," and he opens up both of the doors and gestures for you to go ahead and go on out and follow him.
Okay, I come out, and I'm assuming Kira's next to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She grabs onto your hand and walks with you.
I smile and walk.
Within a few moments, you guys see Aoife and Kira ushered into the room, and the man gestures for her to take a seat near you guys.
Aoife, finally!
Great! Yay! I hug.
You were in there a long time.
I know. It wasn't like in the shows. It's a lot more clear and white. It's not like the bars and scary. It wasn't that bad.
But it was pretty boring out here. I mean, until everyone else came, I had no one to talk to except the nice guy in the suit.
Well, they had me alone. Oh, well, Kira was next to me, but we weren't in the same room, and we were kind of getting bored too. And then they took my blood twice.
What did they do with it?
They said test it, and then he came back and he said that I guess everything's fine, so they didn't actually need all that blood. But I don't think they could put it back. Yeah, so they took it twice. They said it was clean or something. It was fine. I mean, I hope it's fine.
I mean, they let you out. That's good. So it's okay.
Yay! I'm assuming Banba's there too?
Yeah.
Banba!
Hi, Aoife. He gives a smile, shake the thoughts and stress out of his head. Are you okay?
Yeah. Like I told Craig, they took out my blood twice. It wasn't too bad. It was kind of lonely and kind of boring, but it was okay. I really don't think we did anything wrong, but they said I did something wrong, so I guess I had to pay for it.
Yeah, remember there's people are sick and anyone that goes out, they need that glow stick, what is it? Lantern and wristband to show that you're not sick anymore, remember?
Yeah, I remember, but I didn't think they would just throw me in the back of a cop car like that. I thought only criminals did that. Am I a criminal now?
No, you're not a criminal. You're too sweet to be a criminal. It's just you broke a rule. It's a serious rule, but you're not going to go to prison for it.
At least
And
not
look over
long.
to Kira. Yeah, how does she look? Is Kira scared or still clutching Aoife?
You would need the amount of energy it takes to split an atom to get her to move away from Aoife's side.
Okay, yeah, she's there. So if she's with Aoife, she's fine. No. All right. So slightly more relaxed.
4.
Yes, I am being followed by wolves, thinking of a way I can make a joke at them and not have them rip my face off.
Is your phone on vibrate or is it on ring?
I'll listen to the professor. It's on vibrate. Yeah, so my phone's probably on vibrate. It's stealthy enough that, even if it goes off while I'm sneaking into somewhere, they might not get too suspicious.
Your phone begins the low rumble of it being set to the soft vibrate function as it begins to go off in your pocket.
Well, I retrieve my phone. Who is calling me?
It is the professor.
Oh boy, he's gonna yell at me, I think to myself. Okay, I answer the phone.
Oh, thank God. 4, where are you? What is going on?
I am on as I look around for a street sign. And I tell him that street.
You can hear some hesitation in his voice. Okay, so you're not with everybody else. Well, some things have gone down at the police station. There's some trouble going on.
I see. I haven't been with them for a bit now. We came back from investigating the kid's mother's house, and I went to do further investigations, and I'm still in the middle of these investigations.
I won't inquire. We all have our own paths we have to take. Just there is some concern going on at the police station. Are you aware that's where they are? Okay. Apparently there was an incident. Somebody forgot one of them forgot their lanyard. And then Banba had Craig text me, I guess, and just state that there's problems. So, I don't know if you're in any position to get to the police station to be able to assist them, or honestly, I don't even know if that's the best course of action.
What police station? I reckon there are multiple in this city. And even then, I am in situations of my own. They are under control, of course, but...
He goes, unfortunately, I don't know which police station. That's information I have yet to get. But I need you to be careful for. I really need you to be careful. With everything that's gone on recently, I need you to really, really be careful. Please.
Well, things have been going alright. I still have some time before I have to deal with them again. Still have a few more locations to check out. However, I doubt any of them will be as helpful as the last one. I'm just kind of rambling on at this point.
He goes, all right, that's fine. I just need you to tell me you'll be careful and that you'll watch out for your siblings, please.
I always have.
All right, thank you for. I'm gonna get off the phone now and try to figure out something. I've got to get them out of that police station. And he goes, thank you. And the line goes dead.
Yeah, I hang up. I put my phone back in my pocket. I see if I can spot the wolves again, and I continue on my way.
They have not left your side.
This is a stupid idea, but I'm just kind of gonna sigh and idly speak to the general direction of where I believe the wolves to be, and I've still got plenty of places to view, You've already got my scent. You could go, sleep. It is the middle of the night, I suppose. Not expecting a response, and I just continue on my way.
It only takes another 10 or 15 minutes for you to reach the spot that the lighter seems to be in reference to. It is a apartment complex. It's one of those where it looks like it may have been at one point a converted motel. So all the rooms, all the apartment rooms are on the outside, and you can walk up to each of the doors.
Okay. Well, also not gonna be an easy task of finding anything here. Do I see anyone, any activity, lights on, etc.?
There's a few that have lights on. There's also a few that have lights on and are boarded up, from what you can tell. There's usually always at least a buffer of a single room in between those that are boarded up and those that aren't. There is one that seems not only to be boarded up, not boarded up in the traditional sense, but it has yellow tape crisscrossing the door.
Okay. Best way to go about this. As much as I don't want to do the literal same thing that I did last time, I'm going to find kind of a place out that I'm like, I can guarantee I'm out of sight of anyone who might happen to be looking through like a window or something. And I'm going to use the same piercing sight. I'm going to channel 2 more pyros into that, because the scene last time has definitely ended.
You have just finished listening to this week's chapter of Promethean the Created, 2nd edition, Fading of the Spark, part of the Domain Gaming's Contagion Anthology, written and told by Wyverian. A special thanks to you, the listener. If you wish to continue supporting us, subscribe, like, and share. And as always, comments are welcomed. Until the next chapter, don't stop asking yourself, what does it really mean to be human?